What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Sorry, I'm not really prepared today, I have to say. I'll be honest with you, completely transparent. I'm not 100% prepared today, but I'll try my best to get over the news and to let you guys know what's going on in Real Madrid. It's a bit slow, but there is some news out there. So I'll be talking about it. Of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe as well as click the notification button. I go live at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Times on the weekdays, and then 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on the weekends, except with match days. Match days, I usually just go live right after. So anyways, we'll get started into the first piece of news here. And let me pull that up, of course. Let's see if I can pull that up, which is Van de Beek. So Van de Beek, once again, like I said yesterday, he did, I would say, confirm the Real Madrid interest, but now he has confirmed, I don't know if it's from the same kind of interview for the same kind of question, but now he has confirmed that Real Madrid and Ajax are talking over potentially signing him from Ajax. So Van de Beek, there is concrete interest now. Real Madrid are looking for his services, and what I would have to say about it after having watched several videos, trying to know what kind of player he is, I would say this is an excellent signing for Real Madrid. This is what we need in the midfield. If you have a look down below, there are some of the stats right there. 80% pass completion rate, 1.5 tackles per game, especially considering he's more of a number 8. It's pretty good. 0.8 interceptions per game, 1.5 shots per game, 1.2 key passes per game. So overall, some interesting stats, I would have to say. And Van de Beek, I would say could regalvanize our midfield, because at the moment we are bereft of depth in the midfield. We do need some midfielders in the midfield positions. You have Modric, you have Cruz, who, yes, they are very good players, but they have won a lot of trophies. And what I've said before is that they're over-satiated in trophies. As a result of that, these players, they could come good for us potentially, but they've won it all. They've done it all. They've won it all. They've made their career. And are these players really going to, go into this season very, very hungry? We want players who are hungry at Real Madrid. We don't want players who essentially are just, looking to get by. We want players who are looking to win trophies. And I think Van de Beek could certainly bring that to Real Madrid. So I think this would make a lot of sense. I think this would be an excellent signing for us. I think he'll bring a lot of energy into the midfield. And then you have, of course, 9 goals and 10 assists from the 9 goals, 10 assists from the midfield, which overall would just strengthen our midfield. You have Cruz, who, he does assists, from set pieces and things along those lines. You have Modric, who, goals and assists, yes, he does, but is it really, double figures, And Van de Beek has hit that in the Eredivisie. You could argue it is Eredivisie, and therefore it's not, it's not as significant, but he's 21 years of age, I believe. So is it 21, 22? Yeah, it's 22. So overall, he's still very, very young, and there's a lot of potential there, so you could still definitely work on him, work on his development, and maybe just bring him slowly into the team this season, because essentially, like I said, we're just missing midfielders in the midfield positions, and something like Van de Beek, Bruno Fernandes, I said yesterday, would be a good, I would say, an astute, kind of transfer window or an astute decision, and I guess it could work. I think it was IA who was saying that they are very similar, and I did see that they are a little bit similar. You have Van de Beek playing as a number 8. He does play a little bit as a number 8, and Bruno Fernandes kind of does play that as well. So they are a bit similar. However, can they? I would say. Can they work together? Maybe they possibly could. I know some people have been talking about bringing Paul Pogba to the team and also bringing Van de Beek into the team. Whether that's possible or not, we'll have to see. I guess that's the next topic that I want to get into is Paul Pogba. So I'll just switch to that right now. Let's see, bear with me here. So yeah, Paul Pogba is another one kind of making the transfer rumors right now, just because he missed the AC Milan friendly, and it was due to a back spasm. Now, whether this is true or not is up in the air. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kind of has a proclivity of defending his players, and we've seen this happen. Someone's injured and they're not really injured. Professionally they're injured, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kind of says they're injured, but hey, they're not really injured. It's just the case more if he doesn't want to play them or things along those lines. So, anyways, in the case of Paul Pogba, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said that he has back spasm. And like I said, whether this is true or not it's up in the air. I don't really think that it's true, but it could be because Paul Pogba did play. Apparently, he did play in the U23s today, which could obviously mean that maybe there was something in it. But yeah, it just feels more and more transfer rumors, and then you have also Paul Pogba stating that the weather was not great in Manchester, that there's no summer in Manchester, and I'm sure he knows that Real Madrid is a lot better, especially the summers and things like that. There's a lot of different factors when it goes to, I would say, the transferring of players or whether players are interested in something. And of course, weather certainly plays into that. Gareth Bale, why, I'm sure he came, part of the reason he came here was the weather, of course, the weather is fabulous in Madrid. And of course, that always plays a part. So, yeah, Paul Pogba, could it happen? Could it not? I was talking to someone on Twitter today. I was talking to an individual. I won't say his name out loud, but what he did mention to me was that what we could do with Paul Pogba is just pay his fee in installments over time, so that way we don't break any FFP rules, and so that way we can bring in Paul Pogba and we can potentially bring in another midfielder. Now, what do you guys think of bringing Paul Pogba and another midfielder? Do you guys think it's feasible or not? Please let me know in the comments. It is a tough one. Like I was talking about to the individual, he said that if you could play in installments, then you could potentially make that happen. Which, of course, that would be the perfect, I would say, the transfer window. Is bringing in Paul Pogba and bringing in another midfielder. Essentially, you don't want Paul Pogba to do all the duties. You don't want to put all the load on Paul Pogba, because essentially he'll just succumb to the pressure. He won't make it. And we saw this at Manchester United, where he doesn't really, I would say, he doesn't live up to that. I don't want to say hype, but he doesn't live up to the pressure. He doesn't really take it on. So Paul Pogba is a good player. It's just whether he can take on all the pressure. Especially at the moment at Real Madrid. It's not looking good for us, and whether he can take all that in and relish it I don't think he's that kind of player. Of course, let me know in the comments what you guys think of that, because, yeah, like I said, Paul Pogba, for me, I don't think he's that kind of player. But yeah, there you have it. He misses the AC Milan friendly. Whether this is up in the air or not, it's still up in the air. Zinedine Zidane really wants to bring Paul Pogba into the Real Madrid squad, and of course he would just consolidate it, immensely. Paul Pogba, to bring him to the squad, it would be amazing. How do you fit Paul Pogba in the squad? Well, it's a difficult one, especially if you're playing 4-4-2 like Zinedine Zidane has versus Arsenal. I'm gonna pull up some dispositions and what I thought. Bear with me, of course. My football acumen sometimes can be lacking, but this is what I think. Maybe we could line up with something like this. Whether this is possible or not, we'll have to see. But yeah, you have Benzema, Jovic, obviously your partnership there. You have Hazard and Vinicius, obviously some speed on the wings. That's what you want. You have Mendy, a little bit more defensively sound. Well, I wouldn't say more defensively sound, but he's got speed to come back. Whereas versus Marcelo, he doesn't have that speed to come back. The only thing I would have to say about this thing is that, yeah, you could play Marcelo here. You could have Casemiro kind of, come back here and, I would say plug that hole, because essentially when Marcelo goes up, there's a big hole in that space, and, people always look to exploit it. Let me check. Yeah, I can clear it today. So, but overall, I would like to see Mendy take on that left back position, because, he's got the speed. And Militao, I'd like to see him come back a bit, I would like to see him come into the squad slowly but surely. And of course, Navas, yeah, no question. But yeah, you could play Pogba or Van de Beek, I would say, in the midfield, and then alongside Casemiro. It still leaves a midfield. It's not a midfield two, I would say, but it still leaves, I would say, it's kind of midfield that lacks in numbers, So IA says FFP rules don't count the whole fee at once in 1 year. If the contract he signs is for 6 years, then you divide by that and add up his salary. So let me read that again. Sorry. FFP rules don't count the whole fee at once in 1 year. Okay, that's good. If the contracts he signs is for 6 years, then you divide his transfer fee by that and add up his salary. I see. Okay. So, gosh, I'm trying to figure this out, but so that means we wouldn't be able to sign him, I'm assuming, or we would be able to sign him. Let's see here. Yeah, so there you go. Those are my dispositions there. Casemiro, yeah. This is a midfield too. I would say the midfield looks a bit precarious in this formation, just because Vinicius and Hazard, they won't tuck in, and I mean, they will to some extent, but it's still. I would like to see a midfield three, and I think Zinedine Zidane was trying to play a 4-2-3-1, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that could work out a little bit better for us. It looks a lot like a 4-3-3 essentially, but 4-2-3-1 could work out for us. You have Casemiro maybe in the back. I don't know. Maybe you have Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos maybe gonna have to get some playing time. Obviously, he just signed a new contract, so he's gonna have to get some playing time. And then in the front, you're gonna have someone like Van de Beek. Van de Beek. So you have a midfield of Casemiro, probably Toni Kroos and Van de Beek, or you could have Casemiro, Pogba, and Van de Beek playing up front. And that would be a good midfield. And then you have Hazard and Vinicius playing on the wings, and in front you could have maybe Jovic or Karim Benzema or something along those lines. Let me check. So I think that's all the news that I want to say for today. There's not too much today. It's kind of a slow day in the news, but there you have it for that. That's all the news that I really want to talk about today. And tomorrow I will be releasing another video at 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then Tuesday 7 p.m. And then that's going to be the match preview, and then on Wednesday is going to be a match reaction, probably just right after the game. I'll let you know in the match preview whether I can do it or not right after the game. So I think that's all I have for you guys to say for today. It's just a short video, really. Nothing too in-depth, but there you have it. That's the news for today, guys. And thank you guys so much for watching, as always. And have a good day. Thank you.